Good morning. Hi, my name is Tom Heckert, and I'm the Director of the Bureau of Medical Review here at Medicaid, OHIP, Division of Operations and Systems. We're very happy to be here to help you along with some tips and information on timely billing. We know that's a topic that's very important to us and to all of you in order to get your claims paid. Just a few things before we start. I know an email was sent out to all the participants. The slides are already available on the eMedNY website under the billing information section. So if you want a copy of those and download those to distribute to your colleagues, they are available, and they will be available up there from now on. We did have a lot of questions from the last session that we did last week that we didn't get to. We are going to be reviewing those as well as any questions we don't get to on this call and looking for common answers that we can post on our FAQs site. Just a reminder that we cannot answer specific questions on your specific situations for timely billing. It's up to you to decide as the provider what is the correct delay reason code and how to comply with the regulations and instructions. We will be answering general questions about how various delay reason codes do work. And the new part of this presentation, which was given a few years ago, is that we have provided some examples in the slides to guide you along. And these examples should be helpful to you in the future when you're trying to determine what delay reason codes there are. I would like to introduce you now to Tammy Taylor. She is the manager of the pending claims unit in our bureau, the Bureau of Medical Review. She is the expert in delay reason codes and timely billing. So now Tammy will go through the presentation.
Good morning. Like Tom said, my name is Tammy. I'm going to walk you through the presentation this morning for timely billing. We will start with, this is our agenda. We'll look at the regulations, adjustments versus voids, acceptable delay reasons, timeliness edits, then our resources, and then there'll be time at the end for questions. First, this is our New York State regulations. Initial claims need to be billed within 90 days from the date of service. Claims with errors or requiring documentation must be corrected, resubmitted within 60 days of notification. Claims outside the control of the provider must be submitted within 30 days of coming within their control, and claims must be finally submitted within 2 years from the date of service. Here are the regulations for your reference. I also just want to, as a reminder, providers attest to true and accurate claims by signing the certification for provider billing attestation upon enrollment. Adjustment versus voids. Definitions. Adjustments, referred to as replacements on ePASIS, cause the correction of information on the claim history record, cancels the original claim payment, and adjusts the payment by repricing of the claim based on the adjusted information. An adjustment is when information on a claim needs to be corrected, for instance, the date of service, a different rate code, something to that effect. Voids cause the claim to be canceled. Any resubmitted claim for the service is considered a new submission. How do I adjust or void? They need to be submitted in a new claim form and all applicable fields completed. The adjustment field or the void field needs to be marked. The TCN of the claim you are adjusting or voiding needs to be referenced. Only previously paid claims can be adjusted or voided. On an adjustment, the provider ID or the member ID cannot be adjusted. And for a void, this results in a cancellation of the original claim history records and payment. Why do I adjust rather than void? To correct a paid claim amount, you should always do an adjustment. Adjustments do not cancel a claim and keeps the claim and edit history intact. Adjustments should be submitted within 60 days of the date of notification. Reasons not to void. Resubmitting a claim after a previously voided claim causes system processing to treat it as a first-time new claim. All timely submission edits apply. All other edits will be reapplied to the claim, and it's subject to the criteria for the 2-year submission rules, and the claim would not qualify for a waiver. To summarize adjustments versus voids, it's preferred to always adjust, and it's in the best interest of the provider to do an adjustment rather than void. If you void a claim, your new claim is a new claim, your timely filing starts all over. Adjustments are preferred when available. All right, we're going to move on to the HIPAA delay reason codes. One, proof of eligibility unknown or unavailable. Beneficiary's eligibility status is unknown or unavailable on the date of service due to the beneficiary not informing the provider of eligibility. The claim must be submitted within 30 days from the date of notification of eligibility. This is not valid for adjustments. Some examples of when you would use delay reason code 1. Someone comes into your facility for the first time and they tell you they have no insurance. You provide medical services. Once you bill them, you discover they have Medicaid. They give you their Medicaid ID number. You have 30 days to bill Medicaid. Another example is someone comes in and tells you they have private insurance. You bill that private insurance. They deny for no eligibility. You then bill the patient, and again, they inform you of the Medicaid coverage. In these cases, you have 30 days from notification to submit your claims. 2, litigation. When litigation was involved and there was a possibility that payment for a claim may come from another source, such as a lawsuit, claims must be submitted within 30 days from the time submission came within the control of the provider. All professional claim types must be submitted on paper. Some examples when you would use delay reason code 2. A member does not have eligibility when seen. After litigation, for example, a fair hearing, it's determined Medicaid should be the payer. Delay reason code 2 would be appropriate, but I want to point out that you also could use delay reason code 8, delay in eligibility. Another example, a member has no fault insurance as primary. After litigation, the claim is not payable under auto insurance. Again, delay reason code 2 due to litigation would be appropriate, but you could also use delay reason code 7, delay in third party. 3, authorization delays. This applies when there's a state administrative delay, specifically state authorized, directed delay claim submissions due to retro reimbursement changes or system processing resolution. Documentation from the applicable state rate setting or policy office must be maintained on file. Claims must be submitted within 30 days from the date of notification. All claim types must be submitted on paper except inpatient and clinic, and that is because inpatient and clinic cannot be billed on paper. Examples of when delay reason code 3 would be appropriate. There is a delay in a rate code being approved and added to the provider's file. The provider has 30 days to submit from the date of the rate approval letter that was sent to them. Or if a state office gives approval to use delay reason code 3, the claim must be submitted within 30 days from the letter. An update needs to be done to the procedure code file. Once that update is completed and you are notified of it, claims must be submitted within 30 days. Claims submitted for stop-loss payments, HARP adult home and community-based services, and newborn maternal delivery supplemental payments do not require the use of a delay reason code. If delay reason code 3 is used, your claims will be denied. All claims must be finally submitted to the department and payable within 2 years from the close of benefit year for stop-loss claims, or 2 years from the date of service being billed for HCBS claims, or 2 years from the date of birth, delivery for newborn maternal supplemental claims. 4, delay in certifying a provider. This is valid when the delay was caused by a change in the provider's enrollment status. The claim must be submitted within 30 days from the date of notification. Examples of when delay reason code 4 would be appropriate. Provider enrollment delays due to state or other agency. The provider has 30 days from the enrollment approval letter to submit their claims. or a specialty code, group affiliation, category of service is added or updated to a provider file. The provider would submit within 30 days from the provider enrollment letter. Five, delay in supplying billing forms. This applies to paper claims submitted using non-standard forms. This does not include UB04 institutional claim forms. Electronic claims submitted with a 5 will be denied. The claims must be submitted within 30 days from time submission came within the provider's control. An example of when 5 would be appropriate. A provider typically bills electronically, but a claim requires to be billed on paper with an invoice or medical record. The provider needs to request paper claims from our fiscal agent, and billing is delayed. The claims must be submitted within 30 days of receipt of the paper claims. 6, delay in delivery of custom-made appliances. This is not accepted by New York State Medicaid. When this delay reason is reported, your claims will be denied. 7, third-party processing delay. Claims must be submitted to Medicare and/or other third-party insurance before Medicaid. This applies when processing by Medicare or another payer, a third-party insurer, caused delay. Claims must be submitted within 30 days from the date submission came within the provider's control. Paper claims must include an explanation of medical benefits. Some examples when delay reason code 7 would be appropriate. Medicare and/or third-party insurance payment isn't received until the claim is beyond 90 days from the date of service. If you bill electronically, use the appropriate date of adjudication. If you bill on paper, you need to supply the primary EOMB. Another example, a claim is billed beyond 90 days from the date of service to Medicaid with delay reason code 7 on paper, and it's denied for something unrelated than timeliness. For example, the claim doesn't match the EOMB supplied, date of service is invalid. You need to resubmit on paper with delay reason code 7 and the EOMB. Once a claim hits a timely filing edit, delay reason code 9 cannot be used. 8, delay in eligibility determination. This is valid when beneficiary's eligibility date and/or coverage was changed or backdated due to eligibility determination, administrative delays, appeals, fair hearings, or litigation. Claims must be submitted within 30 days from the date of notification of eligibility. Examples of when you would use delay reason code 8. A delay in Medicaid eligibility determination. Another example, a change in the Medicaid eligibility. For example, the client has 07 emergency only coverage and it went to 01 all benefits, or exception codes needed to bill the service is added to the file, or the date of birth is corrected. Anything on the client's eligibility file that is updated to cover the service being billed, you would use delay reason code 8. 9, original claim rejected or denied due to reason unrelated to the billing limitation rules. This is valid for resubmitted claims when original claim and any resubmissions were submitted timely and were not denied or rejected for timeliness edits. The corrected claim must be submitted within 60 days of the date of notification, the date of the remittance. This delay reason is not valid for adjustments. Some examples of when you would use delay reason code 9. The original claim was submitted within 90 days from the date of service, and it denied for something unrelated to timely filing. It denied for invalid sex, invalid procedure code. You would rebill your claim within 60 days of notification with delay reason code 9. Another example, the original claim was submitted beyond 90 days from the date of service with a valid delay reason code, and it denies for something unrelated to timely filing. Again, your claim is over 90 days due to delay in eligibility, you use an 8, but it denies because procedure code is invalid. You rebill within 60 days from notification with your delay reason code 9. Again, once a claim denies for timely filing, then delay reason code 9 is no longer appropriate. 10, administrative delay in the prior approval process. This applies only to services, supplies requiring prior approval where prior approval is granted after the date of service due to administrative appeals, fair hearings, or litigation. It's valid if the claim ages over 90 days during this process, and the claims must be submitted within 30 days from the time of notification. 11, other. Reason code 11 should only be used for one of the following reasons. A, adjustment, retroactive disenrollment from a managed care plan. B, audit-directed replacement of a voided claim. C, provider-initiated replacement of a voided claim. D, interrupted maternity care. Or E, IPRO denial reversal. If you are billing electronically, it is just delay reason code 11. If you bill on paper, you need to mark the A, B, C, D, or E, and if the TCN is required, you need to put the TCN of the claim you're referencing. 11A, adjustment of paid claim retroactive disenrollment from a managed care plan. A paid claim requiring correction, resubmission through adjustment or void of an original claim for a delay reason not listed above. This includes claims previously paid by a Medicaid managed care plan and later recouped. The claims must be submitted within 60 days of date of notification. Some examples of 111A would be appropriate. A paid claim that requires correction or resubmission through an adjustment or void due to a different reason. For example, a claim was paid under one rate code and then determined it should have been paid under another rate code. Adjust the paid claim. Another example, eligibility showed a Medicaid managed care plan as the correct payer on the date of service. The plan paid the claim, but later recouped payment due to retroactive disenrollment. 11A would be appropriate. 11B, audit-directed replacement of a voided claim. An audit agency directed provider to void an original claim and to resubmit a replacement claim for the same beneficiary and related service. If the date of service is aged over 90 days when the replacement claim is submitted, reason B applies. The replacement claim must be submitted within 60 days from the time of notification. An example of when 11B would be used. An audit agency, OMEG, PCG, IPRO, directs a provider to void a claim and submit a new replacement claim for the same beneficiary and related service. 11C, provider-initiated replacement of a voided claim. This is valid when a provider, as part of their internal control and compliance plan, discovers an original claim that must be voided due to an incorrect beneficiary or provider ID number. The claim cannot be corrected by an adjustment and must be voided. The replacement claim with the corrected ID must be submitted within 60 days from discovery of the incorrect ID, but no later than 2 years from the date of service. Here's an example of when you would use delay reason code 11C. A provider internal audit finds a claim was billed under an incorrect recipient or provider ID. Since this correction cannot be done through an adjustment, the provider must void the claim and resubmit a new claim. Remember, since the voided claim is not agency error, the replacement claim will not qualify for a waiver of the 2-year regulation. 11D, interrupted maternity care. Use this reason for prenatal care claims delayed over 90 days because delivery was performed by a physician unaffiliated with the practitioner or physician group who gave the prenatal care. The claim must be submitted within 30 days from the time of notification of delivery. 11E, IPRO denial or reversal. IPRO, Island Peer Review Organization, previously denied the claim, but the denial was reversed on appeal. The claim must be submitted within 30 days from the time of notification from iPro. iPro does a lot of our inpatient reviews, determining if they're medically necessary to be admitted. If they say they come back with a decision that they were not, then after a certain period of time, iPro will void the claim. In the meantime, the provider submitted an appeal, and iPro reversed their decision on that appeal. The claim has been voided. You would need to bill a new claim with delay reason code 11E. 15, natural disaster. This delay reason can be used for delays due to natural disaster and is available for only limited use following a declaration of state disaster emergency in the provider's county. Claims must be submitted within 30 days from the time submission came within the control of the provider. We're going to move on to discuss enhanced editing. Enhanced claims editing checks delay reason codes used on both original and adjustments to paid claims. If the delay reason reported does not apply, the claim is denied. These edits will translate to claim adjustment reason group code CO29 and claim status code 718, or for pharmacy NCPDP rejection code 81. The following slide shows existing edits created, modified to verify the validity of delay reason codes reported on both original and adjustments to paid claims. These edits, along with the delay reasons, are our division's checks and balances. Original claims and adjustments to paid claims are both subject to the following existing edits, which are claim type specific: Edit 68, 658, and 1007. These are the timeliness validation edits. How to submit delayed claims. Delayed claims can be billed electronically or on paper claim forms submitted to CSRA. It is the provider's responsibility to determine and report the appropriate delay reason code. As stated in the March 2012 Medicaid Update, page 10, New York State Medicaid and its fiscal agent will not accept requests for exceptions to these rules. If supporting documentation is required, submit with paper claim form and eMedNey delay reason code form. The required eMedNey delay reason code form can be found in PDF format. The department monitors electronic claims using delay reason codes. Claim submission on paper may be requested at any time. Here's a slide to give you some helpful links. Please make yourself familiar with these and you'll be paid in a timely fashion. For questions related to the denial of specific claims, contact the eMedNey call center at 1-800-343-9000. They have an escalation process, and if needed, they will reach out to the Department of Health staff. This concludes our presentation, and we will now be open for questions.
There we go. Okay, so we have a question that Jason's going to read for us.
If we have an internal audit going back to 5 years and determined an incorrect procedure code is billed and the TCN number is not available, how would we rebill or adjust this claim to Medicaid?
If you don't have the remittance statement, you would request it through the call center at CSRA at 1-800-343-9000.
Software programs only have delay code 11, not the subcategories. Are they required to add delay codes 11A, 11B, etc.?
As I previously stated, when you bill electronically, you would just put 11.
Okay. So there's another question. It says, for health home billing, we were told we can use delay reason 3 for claims over 90 days as long as the date of service is within a year of today's date. Is this no longer an option for health home?
So this is Tom. So we're unaware of that requirement. If you have a letter from the Health Homes people saying that they have approved a delay reason for a specific reason, you would submit that along with the claim for delay reason 3. Otherwise, that without specific instructions from the state, that would not be an appropriate use of delay reason 3. Okay, another question.
We are an institutional biller, and we realize today that 2017's claims have not been submitted. We manually bill these in e-paces because it is under 2 years. So what delay reason code would we use?
So this is Tom. If you've missed the window for 2017 of the initial 90-day claim, which at this point of the year of 18 you would have, there is no appropriate delay reason code to use. Those claims are not payable anymore unless there's some kind of delay that you can tag back to a delay reason code, such as eligibility or lack of information, third-party information.
Okay, another question. Proof of eligibility unknown or unavailable. For this reason, how do you calculate the date of notification on this?
This is Tammy. The date of notification is when the client gives you their Medicaid ID number.
Are delay reason codes to be used on original claims only or on adjustment claims as well?
Delay reason codes are required for original submissions and adjustments.
Okay, the next question. If you find a claim that is over 90 days on an internal review, can you bill it? And the second part of the question, or if a program turns in their paperwork late and it is now over 90 days old, can you bill it?
Yes, this is Tom. Both of those instances would be errors made by the provider, and there is not a valid delay reason for that.
Okay, we have another question here, similar to something earlier, but we'll go through this one. How does Medicaid know when the client has given the Medicaid ID number to the provider? How do you calculate the date of notification on this?
So this is Tom. As Tammy said earlier, it's the date that you become aware of that the member has Medicaid coverage. That could be the Medicaid person giving you the information, and that's your date. You're right. We have no way of knowing that that's the correct date, but you need to keep all that documentation in your files so that if ever upon audit you are asked to produce that information, you can say, here is what I did. And just because that delay reason kicks in and solves that problem, it doesn't mean that there may not be another edit or another instance on the claim that may deny it for something else.
Another question. Most of the managed care recoupments occur beyond 2 years from the date of service. Can you speak to the proper way to submit these claims?
This is Tammy again. If the managed care takes their payment back as a retroactive disenrollment beyond 2 years from the date of service, you would submit your claims timely, so within 6 days of notification from the recoupment, to Medicaid, and then you need to follow the 2-year billing guidelines and request a 2-year waiver.
An additional question. What reason code would we use to bill if we send the claim in under an old Medicaid ID that is no longer active, and after the 90 days, the individual has given us the new Medicaid ID?
Hi, this is Tom. Again, as we said, we're not answering specific delay reason questions, and this is getting a little too specific, and we don't really have a full set of circumstances. But I would suggest that you go back and review the examples that we provided for either delay reason 1 or delay reason 8. Depending on how the scenario works out, you would potentially be able to use one of those two, depending on the situation. So if we are going to continue to go through these questions internally here, and when we will be, if there's specific questions that we can get back to a specific person, we will do our best to do that. If not, we will be looking for trends and common themes through the questions and be including those into our frequently asked questions section on the eMedNy website. It's under the tab for, I think it's billing information.
Information for all providers.
Information for all providers, and there's a billing information tab in there. It's the same place where you'll find the slides for today's presentation. They can be downloaded and distributed and referenced at any time. And it's timely billing information is the tab. And there's a whole host of information there to assist you in getting your claims in timely. A lot of that information, we did provide a link to this place in the slides. So we thank you for joining us today, and that will conclude the presentation.